Welcome to the RJLT Economics. Today I want to talk about the challenges in conceiving and structuring a gold-backed digital currency. I think there are mostly three compounding challenges that I would try to lay out as quickly as possible. First challenge, I think, is trust in the reserve, right? Because when you have an digital currency backed by a physical asset, even though the digital part is on the blockchain, it's quite reliable, all right? But the problem is, what's the link between the digital and the physical, the representation of gold and the physical gold? There's always an intermediary. This is not dissimilar to the situation with all these so-called stable coins, the Tethers, the USD coins, etc. How do you know that there is indeed one-to-one backing of the assets on-chain by assets that's off-chain, the physical asset? Indeed, questions have been raised on whether any of the stable coins are backed one-to-one by the currency, the fiat currencies that they supposedly to happen. That is a issue that a lot of whoever that tries to issue a gold-backed digital currency will have to face. Indeed, a lot of the bigger players, more serious players, suggesting or perhaps trying to conceive a gold-backed digital currencies are national governments. But nevertheless, there is a question: are national governments trustworthy? Indeed, before the fiat system came about, the US dollar was supposedly convertible to gold. There was a fixed exchange rate, and people were supposed to be able to reclaim their golds with the dollar. I don't know. I don't remember the exchange rate. Probably $35, $36 an ounce. But then this conversion was stopped and the link was broken. At that point, we saw that the price of gold skyrocketed because it came to light that there were a lot more dollars than there were gold in reserve. And indeed, since that point, the gold reserve of the United States has never been audited, so we don't know how much actually there are. But I think we can confidently say that there are a lot less than there are dollars. So, is anyone trustworthy? What's the difference at that point between a gold-backed digital currency than fiat currency? Well, there are some differences, right? Because fiat currency is essentially a trust in power, trust in the authority. But the gold-backed digital currency is trust in something that is different. It's trusting that people are actually honest. Whoever that offers this gold-backed digital currency are being honest. Because there are authentication or verification technologies. For example, there could be a gold vault. There can be lots of cameras on every angle. All the gold that comes in and goes out, everything is put online and broadcast live globally. Then it could act as some kind of comforter, but it does not necessarily prove anything. It doesn't verify anything, because as a video stream, the broadcast can be falsified. It can be manipulated. So people are. This is not really a technology that can that is foolproof. that is hack-proof. And indeed, with enough will, any technology can be hacked. And with enough interest, there will be enough will to hack any technology. So in the end, it's only a matter of trust. You have to trust the people when you use a gold-backed digital currency that they have the gold in reserve. The second question that we have is, the challenge, difficulty in gold-backed digital currency is the gold going to be convertible, or rather, is the digital currency going to be convertible to gold? Is the digital currency a claim on the gold in reserve? This is a very important point, because even if the issuers do have gold in reserve one to one, it does not mean that the people who hold gold-backed digital currencies have the right to have any gold. And in fact, then there is no difference than not having gold in reserve. Because whatever happens, the guy is not going to get any gold. All they have is a string of numbers. And if that is all they have, then really does not matter whether there are gold or not. Then it reverts to a system of fiat currencies. And indeed, just as it is with fiat currencies, even if you hold gold-backed digital currencies, unless you have a claim that is governed by something that is beyond political power, perhaps some algorithms on the blockchain. I don't know how that could be implemented. Again, the question goes to the first difficulty. Unless that is implemented, then people who hold digital currencies can be sanctioned. Their wallets can be cleared. Their rights can be revoked. And that means that they don't have gold. It's not the same holding digital currencies backed by gold as holding gold yourself. Yes, of course, when you hold physical gold, you can be robbed. Your gold can be confiscated. But that is still different, because when you hold the gold, you can trade. You can trade privately, off-chain. You can trade without the mercy of the issuers. Whereas if you hold digital currencies, you are at the mercy of the issuers, and beyond that, you can also be robbed. Your wallet can also be confiscated. So that's a second difficulty. That is, even if there is one-to-one backing, is the gold going to be reclaimable? And thirdly, there is a question with the fractional reserve system. So supposedly that someone is really benign and they come up with a gold-backed digital currency that truly is one-to-one backed by gold, and they make it reclaimable. Now the question is, where do people reclaim it? And when they reclaim it, how fast can they get the gold? Because if the gold is not in precisely the point where people need it, then there is very little difference than having a fractional reserve system. The banks who, let's assume, will be handing out the gold when people are going to reclaim them, will not be holding the gold, and then there will be system failures in bank runs, all that sort of things. That's very similar to fiat currencies, right? So that's another problem that we must face, and then alongside it, there are problems with managing the interest rates, giving out loans. So if there are loans given out, obviously let's say the money has been loaned out and someone comes to claim on the gold. And a bank certainly does not have all the gold of people who have deposited their gold in the bank, and at the same simultaneously with the loan, because they make the loan to someone who, let's say they do a business and they pay someone else, and that someone else comes to also claim the gold. So there is also a fractional reserve system. How do you handle that in when the gold is fully reclaimable? Indeed, when you have modern banking, a lot of the old systems that's purely based on physical gold, I guess it's probably not going to really work. And much less so something that is a digital currency backed by gold. Now, do I have a solution for all these situations? For all these? I do not. Let's just say, I want to make it very clear. But these are some of the challenges that anyone who tries to make a gold-backed digital currency must try to address. And they will not solve these problems, but they can address these problems and give confidence to people who will be using their digital currencies. They have to give people the confidence that there is indeed gold that is backing that is backing what is being issued. They will perhaps not make it convertible. I think probably that's quite unwise for the issuer and indeed for the stability of the system. But at the same time, there is no credibility without any conversion. So there needs to be a mechanism where something needs to be convertible, maybe partially convertible. I don't know exactly how. Perhaps there needs to be a currency that is backed perhaps by gold and a basket of what is that called? Commodities, a basket of commodities, and the currency may be redeemable in those commodities. Maybe that's one of the ways to do it. To say that yes, it's backed by some gold, some oil, some lumber, some some other metals, or maybe it's measured in some energy units, so you can get different types of fossil fuels or nuclear energies, etc. Maybe some people, at least on the national scale, people can claim on certain commodities. Maybe that is one of the ways to do this, because in the end of the day, something needs to be reclaimable, and the total value of what is in reserve must be equal or superior to the digital currency, to the amount of digital currency that's issued. These are, I think, two important principles. The third difficulty, I think you addressed it by not making it convertible to every single person. So basically, it's going to be somewhat hybrid system in that trust is gained on the national level, but at the same time, when it comes to the citizens, to the public, trust is in fiat. I guess that is probably one solution. It's not a perfect one. You have to trust in the government. And I fully understand whenever anyone questions whether their government can be trusted. And a lot of times they cannot, because the government, any government, is made up of a bunch of politicians, and politicians from across the world, from history to now, all look after themselves more than they look after the people they're supposedly in charge or to serve, depending on the political system. All right, that's all I have to say today. Thank you very much for listening. Have a great day.